Welcome, everyone. I'm so incredibly glad you're joining me for this Vital Elixir explainer today. Our mission here is always the same, helping you age with strength, mobility, and absolute confidence. Now, let's just dive right in because I want to share a story that, well, honestly, it might feel a little too familiar. Let's talk about a viewer we'll call Sarah. Sarah is 58, and every single morning she wakes up just exhausted. She stumbles into the kitchen, eyes barely open, and pours that glorious first cup of coffee. She takes a sip, and within, 20 minutes or so, the magic happens. The brain fog finally lifts, her mood brightens, and she actually feels human again. It's a beautiful ritual, right? But as we're going to explore today, that very morning ritual was hiding a totally frustrating secret for her. And you know what? It might literally be doing the exact same thing to you. So think about what happened to Sarah a little later in the day. Right around 2 p.m., the crash would hit her like a freight train. Her eyelids would get so heavy, she felt irritable, and she'd find herself just staring right back at that coffee pot, desperate for a second cup just to survive the afternoon. And maybe if you're anything like Sarah, the absolute worst part was that quiet, kind of isolating worry where she thought, gosh, I guess I'm just getting older. My energy is just fading. Maybe this is just what midlife feels like now. But the cycle didn't stop there. After she pushed through all that afternoon fatigue, what do you think happened at night? Boom. 3 a.m., Sarah would jolt wide awake. Her heart's racing, just a bit too fast, her mind is spinning with everyday worries, and she'd find herself staring at the ceiling, completely unable to get back to that deep, restorative sleep we all need. Well, today, we're diving into Sarah's big breakthrough. Because what if I told you her problem wasn't her age at all? What if the very coffee she relied on to fix her morning fatigue was the exact thing secretly causing her broken sleep? Now, before you throw out your favorite roast, hear me out. The really reassuring news Sarah discovered is that coffee is absolutely not the enemy here. Actually, black coffee is packed with incredible polyphenols and antioxidants that some research suggests are highly protective for your brain and your liver. It's really good stuff. But here is the absolutely crucial point. Our biological response to caffeine, it changes dramatically after age 45. The way Sarah's body processed that cup of joe in her 30s was completely different from how it handled it as she approached 60. Before we break down exactly why our bodies change, as Sarah learned, and as I always need to gently remind you, this explainer is strictly for educational purposes. We're looking at the fascinating science of aging and caffeine, but this isn't medical advice. Caffeine affects everyone so differently based on our unique genetics and health history, so if you're experiencing severe heart palpitations, chronic insomnia, or ongoing stomach stuff, please make sure to consult your healthcare provider to figure out what's best for you. Okay, let's get into the science and see exactly what was happening to Sarah. It starts with this fascinating little molecule in the brain called adenosine. From the literal moment you wake up, adenosine starts slowly building up in your system. As it accumulates, it binds to receptors in your brain, signaling, hey, you're getting tired. By bedtime, your adenosine levels are peaking, naturally prompting you to sleep. Now here's the kicker. Caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. I know, shocking, right? Instead, it acts exactly like a piece of gum stuck in a keyhole. It blocks those adenosine receptors so your brain physically cannot feel the fatigue. You feel alert. But guess what? That adenosine is still building up in the background. So when the caffeine wears off and the gum falls out, a massive wave of all that built up adenosine floods your brain at once. And yep, that was the exact cause of Sarah's brutal 2 p.m. crash. We also really have to look at something called the cortisol awakening response. When you wake up, your body naturally releases a spike of cortisol. Now, this is a healthy stress hormone designed to clear out residual sleepiness and gently wake you up for the day. But because Sarah was drinking coffee the exact second her feet hit the floor, she was dangerously stacking a massive caffeine spike directly on top of her body's natural cortisol spike. She was basically overstimulating her nervous system right out of the gate, which created that awful, jittery, wired but tired feeling. Now let's take a look at what happens down in the liver as we age. Caffeine is metabolized by a very specific liver enzyme. It's called CYP1A2. Now, in a 25-year-old, this enzyme works super rapidly, clearing caffeine from the system pretty quickly. But as we cross that threshold of 45, our liver efficiency just naturally slows down. Add in normal hormonal shifts, especially in women like Sarah, and this enzyme becomes even more sluggish. Her mature liver simply could not process the caffeine at the speed it used to. It's just a fact of biology. So what does a slower enzyme actually mean for you day to day? Well, it means the half-life of caffeine, which is the time it takes for your body to eliminate just 50% of the drug, can stretch to a whopping 7 hours or even more. To put that into perspective, for Sarah, this meant if she drank a cup of coffee at 3 p.m. just to survive her afternoon crash, half of that caffeine was still actively circulating in her brain at 10 p.m. It was literally acting as a biological roadblock to her deep sleep. When we start to understand the biology of adenosine, cortisol, and our liver enzymes, suddenly Sarah's daily struggles make a whole lot more sense, don't they? This was a huge turning point for her. So let's look at the 4 hidden bodily signals she recognized. These are the signs that tell you your midlife nervous system is currently struggling to process your coffee routine. Ask yourself, are you experiencing any of these? Number 1, the 2 p.m. crash accompanied by intense sugar cravings. That's your adenosine flooding the receptors. Number 2, the 3 a.m. wake up. That's your liver still processing afternoon caffeine, which suppresses your sleep hormones and triggers a stress response in the middle of the night. Number 3, a wired but tired anxiety. That's where your body's exhausted, but your mind is racing and your jaw might even be clenched. And number 4, acid reflux and digestive distress. Coffee is highly acidic and it can relax the valve to your stomach. I really want to validate for you right now. Exactly like Sarah learned, these are biological responses to poor caffeine timing. It is absolutely not just you getting older. Now for the wonderful news. For Sarah and for you, you absolutely do not have to give up the beverage you love. You simply need to adapt how you consume it to support your body's current biology. We're going to look at 4 safe, science-backed adjustments Sarah used to create a brand new, sustainable daily coffee ritual, one that actually supports her independence, her energy, and her cognitive health. Here is the exact roadmap Sarah followed to reclaim her deep sleep and that nice, steady energy. We're going to walk through the 90-minute delay, the half-life curfew, the L-theanine smooth out, and the never naked rule. These steps are incredibly easy to follow, and they truly empower you to take back control of your daily vitality. So let's dive into them. Let's start with fix number 1, represented by this totally crucial number right here, 90. When you wake up, try to delay your first cup of coffee by 90 minutes. Now I know, it sounds incredibly difficult at first, but by waiting just 90 minutes, you allow your body's natural cortisol awakening response to peak on its own and naturally clear out that morning adenosine. When you finally have that coffee, the caffeine blocks the receptors cleanly without creating a massive backlog. This one simple habit may literally be the key to dramatically reducing or even totally preventing that awful 2 p.m. crash. Next up is fix number 2, the half-life curfew. We know now that our CYP1A2 liver enzyme is slower, right? So we really must respect our body's need for time. Stop drinking caffeine by 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. at the absolute latest. If she needed a comforting afternoon ritual, Sarah just swapped to a naturally caffeine-free herbal tea, like a nice peppermint or chamomile. Giving her liver that solid 10 to 12 hours to completely clear the caffeine before bed, I'm telling you, it was one of the most powerful things she could do to protect her brain health and her deep sleep. All right, fix number 3 is the L-theanine smooth-outs. If your coffee leaves you feeling jittery, anxious, or tense, you might really benefit from pairing it with L-theanine. This is a truly remarkable amino acid found naturally in green tea, and it promotes a state of calm, relaxed focus. As always, please check with your doctor before starting any new supplements. But for Sarah, taking 100 to 200 milligrams of L-theanine with her coffee, or even just swapping to a high-quality matcha, it completely smoothed out that jittery spike and left her feeling clear and capable. And finally, we have fix number 4, the never naked rule. Drinking black coffee on a completely empty stomach first thing in the morning is a massive shock to your system. It triggers stomach acid production with absolutely no food to digest, and it rapidly dehydrates you. The fix here is super simple. Always have about 16 ounces of water and a meal containing some protein or healthy fats before you take your first sip of coffee. Doing this slows down the absorption of caffeine and actively protects your stomach lining. It sets you up for beautifully steady energy all day long, just like it did for Sarah. Let's just take a quick moment to absorb this quote, because it really hits the nail on the head and captures our whole mission here at Vital Elixir. You don't have to accept the 2 p.m. crash. Work with your biology, not against it. Aging is absolutely not something to be feared. It is something to be supported. By making these really mindful tweaks, Sarah completely reclaimed her deep sleep and her steady energy. And the best part, you have the power to do the exact same thing. So I want to leave you with this question to ponder today. Will you try the 90-minute delay tomorrow morning? I highly encourage you to take this one simple next step. Start with some water, maybe get a little morning sunlight, and just wait an hour and a half before that first core. Just see how your afternoon energy transforms. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Remember to listen to your body, consult your healthcare provider as needed, and keep prioritizing your health. This is Vital Elixir, reminding you that true strength and vitality are built one daily habit at a time. I'll see you next time.
Well, hello there and welcome back to Vital Elixir. Today, we're diving into the incredibly confusing world of joint injections. My main goal with this explainer is simple. I want to empower you to protect your cartilage, keep your precious independence, and frankly, protect your wallet. Now, the slide says over 45, but for our community of adults 55 and better, staying active and capable is literally everything. So let's cut right through the noise and look at what the science actually says, shall we? Think about a typical morning. Maybe your knee aches with every single step down the stairs, or perhaps your shoulder gives this uncomfortable little click when you reach for your coffee cup, or your lower back is just throbbing after a short walk in the neighborhood. When that daily struggle hits, you're suddenly faced with what feels like an impossible choice, right? Do you just go for a quick, cheap steroid shot, or do you fall for that massive billboard across town promising some miraculous $5,000 cure? It's an incredibly vulnerable position to be in. Just picture sitting on that crinkly paper in the doctor's office. They point to a narrowing space on your x-ray, and they deliver words that sound almost like a life sentence. Hearing you're losing your cartilage, being handed a cortisone shot, and feeling like major joint surgery is just this inevitable destiny waiting for you down the road, gosh, it's scary. You just want to walk without wincing. You want to get down on the floor to play with your grandkids without groaning. But what if I told you that we need to completely flip the script on everything we've been told? Before we even look at a single needle, we have to debunk the absolute biggest myth in orthopedics. It's this idea that your joints are just mechanical car tires, and after decades of walking around, the tread has simply worn away down to the bone. Actually, modern science proves this is entirely false. Your joints are living, adapting tissues. Cartilage doesn't just wear away, it actually thrives on movement and load. The pain you're feeling, it's largely a metabolic and inflammatory issue, not just a mechanical breakdown. Let's take a look at this comparison right here. This chart lays out the honest truth that neither your standard 15-minute clinic visit nor that flashy regenerative medicine billboard has the time to explain. We have four main players: cortisone, hyaluronic acid, PRP, and so-called stem cells. Now, before we break these down, just a quick, gentle reminder that this explainer is strictly for educational purposes, not medical advice. Always consult your board-certified doctor before making health decisions. But let's see what the peer-reviewed science actually reveals about each of these. Let's start with injection number 1, cortisone. Cortisone is a powerful anti-inflammatory steroid. When it's injected directly into an arthritic knee, it acts exactly like a fire extinguisher. It just completely shuts down the inflammation, rapidly reduces swelling, and honestly, it can provide profound relief for weeks. It's cheap, it's covered by insurance, and it really is the standard of care for acute, severe flare-ups. But here is the massive hidden cost, and this perfectly illustrates the danger of relying on it long-term. A landmark study published in JAMA tracked patients with knee osteoarthritis getting cortisone shots every 3 months for 2 years. Do you know what the revealing result was? Those receiving cortisone experienced significantly greater cartilage loss than the folks who just got a placebo saline shot. No way, right? Using cortisone as a long-term strategy is exactly like taking out a high-interest payday loan. It feels amazing today, but it actually accelerates the structural degradation of your joint and weakens your surrounding tendons in the long run. That brings us to injections 2 and 3. Hyaluronic acid, or HA, is basically a synthetic gel cushion. As we age with arthritis, our natural joint fluid gets kind of thin and watery. HA injects a thick, gel-like substance back in there. It doesn't cure the disease by any means, but it's a very safe, temporary lubricant for mild osteoarthritis that entirely avoids the tissue damage of steroids. Then we have PRP, platelet-rich plasma. This is where they take your own blood, spin it in a centrifuge, and inject the concentrated platelets to stimulate repair. The science here is fascinating and shows some real promise over cortisone for mild to moderate arthritis. But it's expensive, usually out of pocket, and you have to be careful. You must verify that the clinic uses a leukocyte pore preparation method. If they don't, spending the wrong white blood cells can actually increase your inflammation.
And then, wow, we hit this number, $5,000, sometimes up to $8,000. This is the staggering, out-of-pocket financial reality of the highly commercialized stem cell clinics that are marketed so heavily to adults over 55. They promise to miraculously regrow your cartilage and cancel your surgery with a single massive cash payment.
Listen, this is the absolutely crucial point here. The FDA has issued strict warnings against these specific commercial clinics. Why? Because independent laboratory testing has repeatedly shown that these expensive commercial vials, usually derived from amniotic or placental tissue, contain 0 live stem cells. 0. The freezing and processing literally kill them. So you are paying thousands of dollars for dead cell growth factors. Now, they might temporarily reduce inflammation, sure, but they absolutely cannot regrow a bald patch of bone-on-bone cartilage. It is essentially a highly concentrated anti-inflammatory shot being aggressively marketed as a magical cure-all.
Since we already established your joints aren't dead car tires, we can start treating them like the living tissues they actually are. These 4 biological fixes act as a daily, empowering checklist. Instead of just masking symptoms with a needle, these steps are designed to target the root cause of your pain. Think of them as your body's natural joint replacements, giving your tissues the exact environment they need to thrive and support your independence for years to come.
Fix number 1, load the joint. You see, your cartilage isn't meant to take the full pounding force of gravity all on its own. It heavily relies on your surrounding muscles. If your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes are weak, every single step sends a shockwave directly into your knee joint. Targeted strength training acts as a biological brace. Building up that muscle physically offloads the shockwaves away from your vulnerable cartilage. Honestly, physical therapy and strength training are truly the most proven, effective joint injections in existence.
Now, fix number 2 requires looking inside your blood vessels. We have to fix the metabolism. When your blood sugar is consistently high, all that excess glucose binds to the collagen in your joints, forming what are called AGs, or advanced glycation end products. I want you to picture this. It literally caramelizes your joints from the inside out. Your cartilage goes from being this supple, living sponge to being stiff, brittle, and highly susceptible to micro-tearing. So stabilizing your blood sugar through fiber, protein, and a daily walk is a profound foundational joint-saving habit. Next up is fix number 3, systemic anti-inflammatories. Instead of repeatedly injecting localized steroids into a joint that degrade your tissue over time, you can work to lower the inflammation in your entire body. Clinical trials suggest that high-dose, third-party tested omega-3 fatty acids and highly bioavailable curcumin can reduce joint pain and stiffness incredibly well. Some research suggests they even rival traditional over-the-counter pain meds, but without the harsh cardiovascular or gastrointestinal side effects. But remember, always discuss adding new supplements with your healthcare provider first, especially if you are taking any prescription medications.
And finally, fix number 4, which is just beautiful in its simplicity: movement as lotion. Here's a wild fact. Your cartilage does not have a blood supply. It relies entirely on synovial fluid to get its nutrients. But here's the catch. That fluid doesn't just flow on its own. It requires the mechanical pumping action of your daily movement to literally force-feed the cartilage the nutrients it needs to survive. When we sit around and are sedentary, our cartilage starves. When you move through a full range of motion, whether that's walking, cycling, swimming, or just gardening, you are quite literally feeding your joints.
So, let's bring this all together. This checklist right here summarizes your personal transformation plan. You can absolutely avoid the cortisone payday loan trap. You can protect your hard-earned money from those $5,000 dead cell scams. Instead, you can take back control. Build your muscle to absorb the shock. Stabilize your blood sugar to stop that brittle caramelization. Keep those joints moving to feed your cartilage. Remember, you are not a rusting machine with worn-out parts. You are a vibrant, living, adapting organism that will thrive when given the right supportive environment.
Before we wrap up, I really want to hear your stories. Have you ever been sitting in that doctor's office and received a cortisone or PRP injection? Did it actually help, or did the pain just come roaring back a few weeks later? Have you ever been pitched one of those $5,000 stem cell packages? Let me know in the comments below. Let's share our experiences so we can learn from and protect each other in this community. And before you go about your day, ask yourself, are you treating your joints like dead machinery, or are you going to start feeding them like the living tissues they are? Vital Elixir is always here to help you age with strength, honesty, and absolute confidence. Keep loading those joints, keep moving, and I'll see you in the next explainer.
Thank you for your time. Subscribe for more health education. Like the video and share it to help others stay informed.